welcome to the November 30th edition of Fox Magazine. I'm Lori Dew. Later in the show, country music great Lee Greenwood from Nashville on the story behind his God Bless the USA anthem. Then surviving the hectic holiday shopping season. But now, I promise you, this first magazine feature is absolutely breathtaking. It's the exclusive story of the brave, strong, fearless men who train in Key West, Florida to become underwater combat divers. It's incredibly dangerous and extremely difficult. More than 25% who start training never finish. But for those who do, the rewards are great. Jamie Colby has our report.
1, 2, 3, 48.
0530, before dawn in the Florida Keys, 42 Army and Air Force Special Forces pound the pavement in a less than 6-minute mile on the ground, then upstairs. Several of the men just back from Iraq, but not resting on their laurels. In fact, not resting at all.
The graduates of this school, they are picked for the most challenging missions. They are the ones who everyone knows, this guy, he didn't decide to go to an easy school. He rose his hand and he said, give me a challenge. No one comes here because they want an easy day.
I think it makes us a better asset to our teams. The more experience you have, you become more versatile, and it builds your confidence.
26.
Flutter Kicks, the first of thousands these men undergoing training to become underwater combat divers will do today.
A lot of commanders and a lot of people within our community take a look at the Special Forces divers, the graduates, and say these guys, physically, they can meet any challenge. If they can't do it, then possibly no one can.
Thank you.
0700, chow down. The men pile some 6,000 calories on their plate each day just to keep up their strength. This course is considered one of the Army's toughest offerings.
We train for infiltration purposes. This is another method to get us to the job, because our job isn't diving. This is just one vehicle to get us to our job and sneak in, hopefully undetected, and that's the whole idea.
We're teaching these guys something that is extremely difficult and extremely dangerous, and we're also, we're in charge of making sure that they don't harm themselves.
A week into the course, 2 soldiers pull out.
Quitting is a bad habit to start. I hate to see soldiers quit. It doesn't happen often, but when it does happen, that is the most disappointing thing to see in a person.
I hurt a little bit closer because they were, some of my teammates.
A student's failure is a blow, especially for instructors.
It's quite an investment as an instructor to train somebody for 4 or 5 weeks and then for them not to be able to make it. Yeah, it's kind of defeating.
If they're not into it, with their heart and soul, they're not going to make it. You got to really want it.
Last 10, ready, train, bring the pay, dive soon.
In its 40-year history at this Key West compound, 25% of students taking the rigorous 5-week course failed to make the grade. Several men have died just trying. The course is a requirement for Air Force combat controllers and pararescuemen.
Day one, they start right into the academics, start plotting calculating their tides, waves, and currents, dive physics, dive tables, how long can they stay down, at what depths, and there's a lot of academics involved, and on top of that, they got the physical aspects, they're running and swimming up at the crack of dawn.
This is where it all begins, the tank. It's imposing and dangerous. On a single breath, the men conduct a quick descend and then ascend 50 feet. They're given only 3 chances to succeed. I didn't make it quite that far.
That kind of hurt.
Even for men in peak physical condition, the tank proves challenging.
At first I was kind of nervous. I thought that 1 breath of air would run out, but surprisingly enough, 1 breath goes a long ways at that depth.
We've actually had about 4 casualties in the last 2 years down here. And even though a student does it completely 100% correct, he still may be predisposed to a dive injury, and that's why we have an additional hyperbaric chamber up here on the top of the tower.
10:30, time for the first open dive of the day. Although the men have completed a 3-week pre-scuba course just before arriving, none were previously certified divers.
With a medic on standby, the men will get just one chance to rehearse tonight's STX mission. They'll swim out tethered together in groups of 6. It takes trust and teamwork, and the men tell me they're just happy it will take them one step closer to completing the course.
The 2-hour exercise did not go well for this group.
Let's go, man. Hang out in the surf zone all friggin' day long. Get on line and move across the beach. Buddy, walking along on shore, you'd have been history. Guaranteed it. But to come this far and then be humbled at the end by a rucksack and LBE and a weapon is, I don't know the language I want to use. Yeah, it's quite a kick to the groin.
It is a lesson Captain John Gentiloni says is better learned here than in theater.
It went well in the aspect that we learned a lot. But as far as picture-perfect military maneuver, no.
His group will take corrective action come nightfall. The students now have a feel for the elements.
It's unnatural to jump out of a plane at 10,000 feet. It's unnatural to enter a shoot house with bullets flying around you. It's unnatural to stay underwater at night in austere conditions. All this training, in a sense, is similar in that it's overcoming the natural fear of panicking in a very unnatural environment.
This is the men's final exercise. It must be performed in total darkness. Even we aren't allowed to use our lights. The mission, personnel recovery, a rescue of one of their own, what the military terms PC, or precious cargo. 1800, the men are dropped 1,500 meters offshore, each wearing 80 pounds of gear. A compass is their only guide underwater. 2 hours later, green chem lights signal the first infiltration. Major Shu explains.
Team 1 surfaces, the first thing they'll do is to secure the beach.
The men spot the PC and secure him. The operation is conducted in absolute silence.
The team moves to secure the beach.
One by one, the remaining teams arrive. The signal is given. Recovery is now possible.
The teams load the boats for exfiltration.
2010, precious cargo is taken to safety. The mission, a success.
I'm prepared to do anything if need be, but instructors mainly taught us a lot about it and put a lot of professionalism in teaching us and everything.
2230, all 42 graduate the course.
And these brave soldiers won't stop here. Some will be heading back to Iraq to continue to fight the war on terror.